Everybody, Travis at MUDDCreek.com, reviewing the IX1000 by Shimano. This is the 1000R, which means it has a rear drag here. This is the smallest of the IX series. I've showed these in some of the other videos I've done on the different sizes, but so here's the smallest right here, and then you have the mid-range here, the IX2000, and then the IX4000 here. So just to give you an idea, the IX1000 is going to be a little bit more ideal for pack rods and whatnot, especially small stream fishing and lakes. Some of the lakes, you do just fine with this thing, and especially mountain lakes. Kids can use these real well. It's a great starter reel, just because you don't want to get too big a line on there. Get something a little bit more manageable. Biggest difference when you buy the size is how much line is it going to be able to hold, and then obviously what size of line, what pound test can you put on there. Just to show you line capacity on this. This is a 2-pound test. It will do 270 yards. You can find this on pretty much any reel. If you just look on the side, it's usually there. But line capacity is something good to pay attention to. A lot of people ignore it, but if you look, it's a great little guide here to just tell you how much you can put on there. I think less is more. You can even go less than this, and you're probably a little safer to do so. But 2-pound test will hold 270 yards. 4-pound test, it's going to hold 140 yards. And then 6-pound test is going to hold 110 yards. So you don't want to get anything over a 6-pound test on this. I'd probably stick it around, the middle ground's probably the best for these. But, it'll manage and you'll do okay with 6-pound as well. But like I said, less is more. You tend to want to put as much as you can on there so you have it for later. But to be honest with you, when you do that, it tends to come off the spool as you're reeling, especially the first couple times of use. And you end up just dealing, spend an hour or two trying to get tangles out. I've done that and it's not fun. So I'd put less on, and I'd rather just completely put new line on my spool sometime if I was running low than to have to deal with a bunch of tangles. I think in the long run you're going to see that you're going to spend less time just putting less on to begin with and then changing that out more frequently than trying to put as much on as you'll ever need in your lifetime and then going from there. I've had these reels. I used a similar model. I think it was the IX2000 I had for years growing up. Obviously, they've updated them a little bit over the years, but same basic principle. And it just barely went out on me probably about, I think it was last year. And I'd had it for about 18 years. And part of that was my own fault. I was messing around and put a, way too big a lure on there and trying to catch the biggest fish I could in the Snake River. And I was just messing around, like I said, and it wasn't very smart of me. So, trying to drag it behind a boat. Anyway, so there it is. A couple cool features. It has the quick trigger too. I love these. Makes it real easy for casting, especially kids when they're just getting into the sport. I highly recommend Shimano's. A lot of people get the spin cast. The thing I like about the spinning ones is, you can see the line. If you deal with tangles and things like that, it's a little bit more exposed and easier to get to. But this trigger, and how that works is you just pull it back like that and grab the line. You grab the line with it and then pull it back, and then as you cast, you let go, and that will just, it'll go right out like normal instead of trying to flip the bell here like this and casting like that. And so after you cast it, you just reel and it pops back down like that and you're good to go. You don't have to flip it. It's really one-hand action. You don't have to go with 2 hands if you don't want to. I really like these for that. Has a rear drag back here. You can see adjust that. Works real well. Got a big handle here. Plenty of grip. You can hang on to it. Gives you plenty of leverage. Other feature it has, you can actually flip the switch here and you can actually make it so it reels both ways. I don't tend to do that. I leave it so as I reel back, it just locks into place, and it will do that every time no matter where you're at, and that's kind of the cool thing about it. So this is the IX1000. Like I said, this is the smallest of that series. This is going to be great for pack rods and reels, where you don't need a lot and you're going up to do some stream fishing, catching small trout or whatnot. It's going to work real well for that, or even some small bass. So keep that in mind. This is the smallest of them. This is a great little reel. You're not going to go too wrong. Let me show you the weight real quick. So weight is about 8.5 ounces. Not very heavy at all. Let me tell you the gear ratio real quick. The gear ratio on it is 4.1:1, so that's the gear ratio on it. So this is the IX1000. Come check us out at www.muddcreek.com, and we'd love to see you. Thanks.